I'm gonna attempt this. I don't even know if it's gonna work. I can kind of see what I'm doing, kind of. This is my little belt kit. I carry it on my belt every day. It's a Leatherman. You can go on the Leatherman site. They only have a few sheaths available. This one fits. Oh, I think it's the smallest one that they have that is like this, and it has like two little thingies on the side to hold tube-like structures. The old one was, I think it had a different closure and people complained, so they made this snap, and it actually stays shut. It really doesn't come open. Anywho, this is my little belt thingy, and on the side of it, I have the Olight. Oh, jeez, I think it's like the IT3. It's a triple A battery, so it's really little. This thing is tiny. My hands are pretty small, so it's kind of hard to see, but I'll put it next to a big so it's really little. Um, and I always prefer, and I'm probably going to move away from that because there are advantages to the other way, but I prefer the button on the back because I'm just used to, I don't know why I'm used to that now. The bigger ones I have the rear buttons. This isn't, this does stick out, so it's not like indented. They couldn't really do that easily with a small one. But this has two settings, I think. You can half press it to set the setting. So it has high and low, or low and high. Low, high. And I think it might have, no, this one, wait. No, this doesn't have the strobe setting. I don't need the strobe setting anyway. The only complaint I have about it is the clip is weak, so if it gets caught on like something, it'll just, mine's messed up. But it's okay, because actually I don't even need it because of the sheath. So this holds it really nicely. See what I mean? The back button will, if you push it down. Anyway, I actually keep, if you can see, extra batteries because this sheath is made for a larger multi-tool than what I actually carry. It's made for the Wingman, I think. So this actually, it's loose in there. It would go and disappear. But so what I did was I shoved a few AAA batteries at the bottom of it. I think right now I have the rechargeables in there. So this fits in there. And then I don't know if you'll be able to see them this way, but there are 1, 2, 3 AAAs shoved in the bottom sideways. And then this just goes in. Now this is my multi-tool. This is the Leatherman rebar. I chose it specifically because of the tools inside of it. It's actually, I'd say this is best for like outdoors stuff because it has, where is it? It has an actual saw, and the saw is pretty substantial. It's almost too, this is a wood saw, like very specifically, or soft plastic maybe, but yeah. But I guess if you wanted to like go through metal, you can use this file, which will actually go through softer steels. And then it has a blade, which I never use. I never use this. I could cut it off and it would make no difference to me because I carry a dedicated blade. So that's, I don't, it's so sharp, and it's sharp like a razor blade, and it's so thin. It's just not my style of knife, but it's really effective if you do use it, so that's nice. And it has some other shit in it. A big flat head, a little flat head, and then an awl. I needed this because I was doing some things in the woods, and to have the ability to make a hole is awesome. And this one has the threaded thing, so if you needed to sew something, you're going to make a big hole, but you could stitch something really messily using this. Anyway, I got it for that reason. The other side has, a serrated, I have beef with serrated knives. So as you can see, I mean, this has not been used. It will be pristine forever because I'm never going to use it. I wouldn't even use it for, unless I had a huge piece of rope, which I never have. So that was a tool that I had to settle with being there at all. And then it has a can opener here. So it's not actually sharp, but it's sharp. It does open an actual, like, soup can. And then, of course, there's the bottle opener, which is always handy. I like Mexican Cokes, and they're not twist off, so you have to use bottle opener. Phillips head, of course. And then what else? Oh yeah, I showed you the saw. And then these. Now the cool thing about Leatherman now is the wire cutter blades can be replaced. So you can order just... Is that showing? Right in here, you can see there's a screw, and you can actually replace these, which is amaze boobs. And just your typical pliers. This needs to be cleaned and lubed and all that wonderful stuff. This isn't the kind I would like mess up to be able to flip open though. that was a cool video. Anywho, that's the Leatherman rebar. Oh, it also has inches and centimeters. I use that all the fucking time. I should mention that it has these markings because I constantly measure stuff using this thing. If you make it nice and even, it's 8 inches, and whatever 8 times 2.2 is, which would be 20 centimeters, something like that, approximately. I love that. I love the measurements on things. It's like, why not? Always do that. Anything steel should have, like, measurements. I wouldn't even mind having these, like, along the top of a knife I owned. That's something you could do. You could etch that. Alright, so the sheath also has, because I carry this, I had a video about this already, but I always carry a dedicated blade aside from my multi-tool and my kit. So this is just like, oh, my hands are so cold. In my person, on my person, just in my pocket. This is non-locking slip joint, so it's UK friendly. In fact, this rebar, they make a non-blade version, which I want. And they replace the blade with scissors, which are always useful. I actually don't have scissors anywhere in my EDC kit. Never have. Never needed them, but I've had them before, like in another kit nearby, and it was really helpful. So, oops, I should have pulled that out on video. Hang on. So behind where the multi-tool goes is a little pouch. Initially, it's made for carrying a bit kit that goes with the Leatherman Wave, but this is the rebar, which is why this sheath can hold so much. The rebar is so small that I could fit extra batteries for my flashlight. And then, yeah, of course, I always want to carry a sharpener on me. This is the DC3, Fall Knife in DC3. As you can see, it's had a lot of use. I have a few of these. There's one in every kit. I always want sharpeners nearby. This is the side I always use. I've used this a few times for a few things, like fish hooks and stuff. I don't know why I did that. I rarely go fishing. But this is amazing. I love this. I use it all the time. It's my main sharpener. I don't even, like, have a big block right now. So yeah, it comes with a neat little... I'm trying to think if there's one within arm's reach. Sometimes there is. It has a neat little... Oh yeah, there is. Hang on. I brought this to show that. It comes with this neat little leather... It holds it really nicely. I actually love this little pouch it comes with. This one's slightly more pristine, but not really. These get used constantly. Anyway, that's how it comes. Oh, for comparison size purposes, and without the case on it. So it's legit the size of a Bic. Like, That's crazed boobs. Now, because of that, like, you know, you have to be really careful when you're using it, but you can totally use it. This is the only one I use, so you totally can use it. Anyway, alright, so that goes back here. And I always say carry a sharpener if you have a knife, because a dull knife is not only dangerous and puts you at risk for cutting yourself and then getting infections in a survival situation, which you don't need, but it doesn't work. Like, you're opening a package. If you're struggling with a knife, then why use the knife? Just tear the package. So everyday use and everything, a knife should be sharp. And let's see, the pen. This is the Pocket pen. I have a whole silly, stupid unboxing review about this. It works a lot like the Space Pen. I like it though, because you can fit, if you just, I carved the tip of this, I don't know if you can see. Let's put it, I carved the tip open a little bit more so I could shove this other type of pen ink tip thingy in, and I love it now, because now I can fit that in there, and I love those. Oh, I know what it was. It was the Papermate, those, like, triangular shaped ones. Jeez, this is so dirty. Look at how dirty this is. Anyway, that just goes there. So basically, on me at all times, I have a handful of tools, a knife, always, always, always. And if for some weird reason I lost this, I have one in there. I just don't lose knives, though. It's like I can't lose them. But I always have a cutting tool, a few tools, a light source with extra batteries. That's kind of crucial. A lot of the new lights now are, you plug them in to recharge them, and that's fine and dandy as long as you have a charger. And a lot of people carry chargers, but imagine just every bit of shit hits every fucking fan. I always like to have a light that runs on AA or AAA, period, because those are all over the place. You can find them everywhere, and if for some reason, you know, like, you can't get to a charger, you won't have your light. So yeah, I have quite a long time worth of light just packed in this little container. This weighs quite a bit though. I don't feel it really, but it weighs a lot. So light, knife, little writing tool, which is just handy, sharpener, some tools. That's on the belt. This is in the pocket. This is in like every kit I have, every single one. As far as fire starting, just light the fire. Get some tinder and get it lit. You know, fluff up some stuff and light it. But if you can't do that, or if, I don't know, maybe you feel like doing it another way, this is a little kit that I kind of just toss in. And it's a neat, actually, the pouch itself is pretty cool. It goes on the belt if you want it to. It just has, it's gonna last forever. It's one of the things that I do have as army surplus because it's worth it. If you look on the inside, I have a really crazy aggressive needle for sewing anything, like literally anything. It's not a sail needle though. Those are really big. So in this kit here, I have a can opener, and it's just on a little piece of unraveled bank line, I think. Yeah, so the can opener would probably, if I were in trouble, this would probably end up attached to this in some way so that it doesn't get lost, and then this can just be popped in there, and then this would be shut. Just anything that you would really lose, that can happen. So I made it long enough to do that. Just long enough. Anyway, these things are great. This is actually the larger one, I think. It's the P38 or something, I forget. But this actually has kind of a good edge on it, as far as striking a ferro rod. Now here's one ferro rod I just kind of put together, and I actually forgot to do something when I did it, which annoyed me. If you lay a piece of cordage, like say this is your cord, and you lay it like with a loop along this, and then wrap, you end up with like a little loop. But I forgot to do that. Anyway, this on the end is a nice little, you can really hold it. It's a handle, but it's also Gorilla Tape. So I have a bunch of 1-inch Gorilla Tape on here in case I need tape. So yeah, this doubles as the striker. I'll do a fire starting video, just like little tiny tips that help. But this will work as a striker, and if not, it's neat how this actually works as a striker, because you can bring it up and there's like all this control because it's through the Spyderco hole. So you just do and you're done, and then you take the whole thing away. I love that. I didn't even realize that these have 90-degree edges on them, but they can make a spark. I shouldn't throw a spark because yeah, I'm not gonna do it. This surface is terrible. So yeah, this is neat. Yeah, it's just a cheap ferro rod. Sometimes it takes a few strikes if they've been sitting a while, because they do like kind of corrode on the outside. This one has more of a patina now because it's been kept dry. So that's a tip. If you get a ferro rod, just a blank one, you can use this tape. And then you have tape and a ferro rod. This can be your striker, as long as it has a good edge. And then you also have a can opener. So you have a fire, a way to open actual cans if you're in an urban setting, and also tape. This comes in so handy. Alright, what else is in here? This is fun. Oh, more tape. What do you know? On one of those free cards you see everywhere, I took one and I made a spool out of it, and I wrapped more Gorilla Tape. This is getting worn out, but I just love this. I've had this since I was really young. It's a little knot book. It's just a refresher in case you forget your knots. And I forget my knots all the time, so it's really handy. It's called Pro Knot. You can find this online. It's handy because each one has a really good purpose, each knot. And then I have a little bit of cocoa butter lip balm because cocoa butter is awesome. And it's also flammable, that lip balm. I think in here I have, yeah, a little striker pad. I don't know. I was on a major budget, so I cut the pad off of some matches. A whole bunch, and I don't really want to take much of it out. Birch bark for tinder, starting fires. And then this is like true tinder in a way. This is quadruple-aught steel wool. Oh wait, no. Yeah, there's still wool in there. It's just a bag of tinder here. So this is really, really fine steel wool, which will catch a spark and just go up in flames. It's crazy how well the really fine steel wool works as a tinder. But you would want something, you would want a decent amount of stuff to catch after it catches, so that's why I have some jute just fluffed. Really, making fire, the key to making it easy on yourself is preparations. Like, if you get a really nice fluff going, you won't have much trouble. And you just have to, I'll do that later. But anyway, yeah, got some fluff for fires, and that just goes in this little bag that probably had, I don't even know what used to be in this bag, but I like reused it, which I think is funny. This is all pretty much on a budget. I mean, I can't think, this isn't budget. It sort of is, but it's a good knife. This is not budget, but it's worth it. That's all, I think. Usually there's also, other stuff in here, but I took a bunch of it out. So that's just some stuff. I don't carry this. I only carry this and this and this on my person. and that's all I really need. I also have a hanky that I carry that has other uses. But that's on my person, and then I have a bag that I would carry if I went anywhere, like away from the house. So yeah, that's all. That's all for now. I don't feel like editing this, so I'm just gonna toss it on YouTube.